Hi guys, and welcome to my next summer weekly knitting update. It's so nice to have you here. I really hope you enjoyed the last one, that you've had a good week. I'm sorry this one's going to be a little bit later in the evening publishing wise than I was hoping for. I will try and include at the end of this video some footage of what I've been up to more broadly this week, and hopefully that will kind of show why things have been a bit busy. You'll get a little bit of a sneak peek of what will be included in my next reno video over on my home renovation channel here in this episode. So it's been quite a knitty week. I hope all of you have got good knitting mojo, good making mojo at the moment. Mine is on fire, and I finally gave myself some time just to sit and make and enjoy making, and it has felt so good. So yeah, we've got all the good vibes at the moment, guys. I am going to dive straight into rapid fire on what I've been knitting. These updates are meant to be nice and brief, high energy, motivation for you for making over the weekend or summing up a nice week. So straight into finished objects. My first one is something I finished a number of weeks ago, but I've had to keep a secret because it is a pattern collaboration with a yarn company. This is a collab with Loom Wool. Jess does a monthly mini skein subscription. If you haven't already had a look at it, do. It's fantastic. And this month we wanted to include a sock pattern that uses up 5 20-gram minis, aka the whole set, to accompany the yarn. So I have knit up a sample of these socks. They are not in the yarn that will be in the subscription box this month, so I'm not spoiling the colourways, but we wanted to keep the pattern a little bit under wraps until everyone who wanted a box had ordered one, and the orders are now closed, so I can now show you the pattern. Here you go. There's been some sneak peeks over on Instagram. This is a textured sock pattern that incorporates both textured stripes and colour fade. You knit it as a tube with the toes on the end. So 2 tubes, you knit your cuff down to your toe and then you do an afterthought heel. This makes the most of 5 20-gram minis. I had literally like 10 centimetres left of yarn for each colour, so it's tight. But it really makes the most of those minis. The minis I've knit this up in are 2 from Silly Little Sheep Co. and 2 of Jess's, and then the contrast are some Jarwell sock yarn. So yeah, so happy to have these out into the world and to be able to show you. I will be keeping the pattern exclusive to Jess's subscription box until probably about the autumn. Maybe around October. They'll be up on Ravelry for you to add to your queue, but you won't be able to purchase the pattern until, yeah, October time. But yeah, I can't wait to start wearing these. These are some of the longest leg socks I'm going to have in my stash, so I'm super excited. And I knit mine, like all my socks, on 2.5mm needles. So there we go. First finished object to share with you. My next finished object flew off the needles within a day of recording the last weekly update. This has been such a quick project and I loved it. This is my cabled hat, worsted weight. It's coming up teal on camera as it did last time. The green's actually, it's a little bit bluer than my walls, but it's definitely more green than it's showing on camera, which is a shame. Yeah, it's just not capturing it. And there's these beautiful tweedy speckles in the yarn. You can just about see. So this is Hjerte Garn New Life Wool. I think I kept calling it New Wool in the last update. New Life Wool. I bought this from the Incredible Beautiful Knitters shop, and yeah, I loved the yarn. It creates beautiful cables, beautiful stitch definition, but it's a bit rustic, but it's still soft. I just loved it. I can't say enough good things. I knit the hat on 4.5mm needles, and I made up the cables and rib combination. There are so many cabled hats out there on Ravelry that I'm sure you can find one if you like. But I will actually also write this up and publish this as a pattern. If there's enough people that want it now, I'll publish it now. If not, I'll probably wait till September when we get back into hat season. But when I saw this yarn, I just knew I wanted it to be a hat, and I wanted to knit one in preparation for my other half needing one, rather than kind of speed knitting it close to the time. So that's my other finished object. Speaking of though, that takes us nicely into whips, because I enjoyed knitting that hat so much that I've already cast on a second version, only a couple of rounds in, and I'm knitting this one in a yarn that I picked up in Japan. I can't tell if it's the brand or the base. It's called Sonomono. This is a chain construction, beautiful yarn in like a natural brown colour. They come in 40-gram balls. I'll put the colourway and stuff down below. And I think this might take me just under 2 balls, but it's gorgeous and I can't wait to cast it on. This sample will be for me and I will do it with a folded up 2x2 rib brim. So that's my next whip. My next whip that I'm going to show you, I paused there for a bit because I was trying to decide which one to show you. The next whip I'm going to show you is one that actually surprised me that I put it back onto the needles. It had been on hold on waste yarn. And that is my Terracotta Sweater. Now, to save some editing time, because as you can tell, we're running behind this evening, I will just show you it on Ravelry. Sorry, you can see the little red light from my camera, but there we go. That's the Terracotta Sweater. It's by Holst Garn or LeKnit, and it's a texture and colourwork sweater. It's a kind of straight shoulder construction, so you knit the back panel and then you pick up shoulders and work down the front. I had got maybe like this far down the back before, so I knit all of that and then picked up the shoulders. I'm knitting down. I'm knitting the smallest size, which is they're meant to have 28 centimetres of positive ease. I'm now about 7 and that's perfect for me. I don't want 28. But I then started to follow the second size for the shoulder pickup and the neckline, just because I found that picking up more stitches on the shoulder looked nicer for me. I'm knitting this on 4mm needles. I did not gauge swatch. My main colour is Holst Garn Supersoft Jumper Weight in the colourway Ecru, and I'm holding it double. I have a cone of it. With lots of ends to weave in because I have to keep winding off a bit, and then anyway. And then my contrast colours for the colourwork, which should make up this beautiful kind of sunsetty tone, because it's a bright orange hank of Filcolana Arwetta held with the red shade of CaMaRose Midnatsol. So yeah, I'm contemplating at the moment, do I continue the texture and the colourwork all the way down the body and the sleeves like it is in the pattern, or do I just stop it here and then just do like a tiny bit of colourwork and texture before the ribbing on the cuffs and the hem? Haven't made up my mind yet. The lazy part of me just wants some stockinette knitting, but I don't know if I'll come to regret that. So we will see. You'll see in the next weekly update what I decide. But yeah, the only thing I would say about this pattern, and it's one of the reasons I'm trying to knit it with less positive ease, is I don't feel it's the most size inclusive. I know the last time I mentioned this on my podcast, it spurted some quite controversial opinions. But yeah, for me personally, I'd want a bit more of a size range than what the designer has done. However, that's one of the reasons I'm experimenting with knitting it with less positive ease, because that obviously then opens up options for people. And 28 centimetres positive ease is a lot. So you've got quite a lot of wiggle room there. So we'll see how this goes. But yeah, was surprised to find I had the mojo to take that off hold. I just looked at it and went, yeah, that's what I want to knit. And that's kind of been the theme of this week. And then the final thing that I've been working on in the last week or so is this. Now, it looks a similar size to when I showed it to you last week. However, I have re-knit this 4 times in between the design process. But this is going to be an asymmetric style summer top with a band that goes around your bust, then a band that comes around your arm as a bandeau, and then a asymmetric one shoulder strap with quite a cool fastening going down your side. I had initially cast this on 3mm needles in Knitting for Olive, Pure Silk in the colourway Olive, and I was knitting double knit. And it was just taking forever to grow, and I was having to watch it, like look at it all the time. So we've played around a bit. I'm now on 2.5mm needles, which is my classic sock needle. And the idea is that you should be able to use whatever needle size you normally use for socks. Yes, that means it's a tiny gauge. However, the way that you're constructing it means you're basically making a tube, and the rest of the construction will be simple but clever, is the hope. So it's actually really nice to knit because you can just mindlessly knit away and it grows quite quickly. So really happy. So whilst it doesn't look like I've done anything, this is take 4, and I did this bit of knitting in 2 hours yesterday. So it's really quick. So yeah, and the Pure Silk, I know some people find it splitty, I haven't been, and the texture is just gorgeous, particularly as I'm like handling it more. It's not really showing up on camera. On camera it's looking quite dull, but actually in person it's got a beautiful sheen to it and a real depth of colour that's just not picking up on camera, unfortunately. Yeah, no, the lighting's just not going to do it favours right now, which which is annoying. That's what happens when you record at 7 o'clock in the evening. That is everything I've been knitting on this week. Yeah, I think that's everything this week. There's been some projects I thought I'd pick up and I haven't, like my Georgia sweater, and that would be such a quick one to get done, but I'm not feeling it, so I'm not doing it. And I hope with these weekly updates, you guys get a more authentic sense of what I'm picking up and working on. Hopefully kind of, because there'll be some weeks where I don't pick up a project and I'll pick it up a few weeks later, that's representative of how I knit, but 2, it means you'll get quite a nice variety on here, I hope. Whereas in 2 weeks, I could actually pick up quite a number of different projects and then you'll just keep seeing them on the podcast every time. So yeah, I think the only other thing to update you on is what I'm wearing, which is now a published pattern. I, excuse me, will not bore you with too many of the details because I have been talking about this a lot, but if you are interested in the pattern or you would like to kindly lend me some support by going and favoriting it or adding it to your queue in Ravelry, I'd be so grateful. That would really help me out, and I will link it below. But this is a really lightweight summer jumper. I've also done a t-shirt version, which you'll be able to see pictures on Ravelry, and it is safe to say 100% honestly and transparently, I have been wearing this all the time. The underarms are beginning to pill like crazy. I've already pilled this twice because I'm just wearing it all the time. It's my go-to layer. At the moment, the British weather is being classic British summer. It's 22 degrees one day and it's raining and 18 to 16 degrees the next day. So this has been just coming with me everywhere and I love it. So I hope you guys do too. But yeah, other than that, as I said, I'll include some footage of what I've been up to with home reno and stuff. I have also been doing a lot of work with charity this week. I have had friends down for the weekend, so took them to like local markets and stuff, which was really lovely. Yeah, guys, I'm just in a good place this week. We're happy this week. So I really hope you've had a good week. I hope you've done tons of knitting, tons of making, and I hope you're excited for this weekend and whatever it will bring for you. I will see you in the next weekly update, hopefully more on time at kind of 6 o'clock-ish next Thursday, but I'll see you soon.